Have you ever noticed how much of your life is controlled by the opinions of others? You hold back from saying what you really think. You dress a certain way, you post on social media, and then keep checking to see how many people like it. You're exhausted, not from living your own life, but from performing for someone else's approval. This is the curse of giving too many fucks. The Stoics understood this trap over 2,000 years ago. They taught a radical but liberating idea. If you want freedom, you must stop caring about the wrong things. But let me be clear. When I say stop giving a fuck, I don't mean becoming careless, selfish, or cruel. That's not Stoicism. The Stoics didn't teach us to be cold. They taught us to be disciplined. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, once wrote in his Meditations, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." That's the Stoic version of not giving a fuck. It's not apathy, it's power. So in this video, we're going to break down how to stop giving away your peace of mind to things that don't matter, and how to redirect your energy to the things that do. Before we go further, if you're ready to master your emotions, your mind, and your freedom, hit subscribe to Stoicism Mastermind. Because this journey isn't just about learning, it's about becoming. From the moment we wake up, most of us are prisoners of invisible chains. We worry about how we look, how we sound, what people will say, and what people will think. We dress for approval. We work for recognition. We speak for validation. Why? Because the human mind craves acceptance. Its ancient wiring. In tribes and small communities, being disliked meant being cast out, and being cast out meant death. But here's the problem. Today, we live in a world of billions. We're not in a small tribe anymore. Yet our brains still act as if every stranger's opinion is a matter of life or death. Someone laughs at us, criticizes us, disagrees with us, and suddenly, our peace is gone. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. You lose sleep not because of what actually happened, but because of what you imagined someone else thought of you. You replay conversations, rehearse responses, obsess over the judgment of people who probably aren't even thinking about you anymore. This is the trap of giving too many fucks. You become a slave, not to reality, but to perception. And the Stoics warned us, nothing is more dangerous to your freedom than caring about the opinions you cannot control. The Stoics didn't waste their lives chasing approval. They understood a timeless truth. Opinions are outside of our control. Epictetus, born a slave and later one of the most influential Stoic teachers, put it simply, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Imagine that. Instead of fearing what people think, you embrace it. You accept that others will misunderstand you, mock you, even hate you, and yet you remain free. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, faced endless criticism. Every decision he made affected millions. Every decree sparked debate. He knew he could never please everyone. And so, he wrote in his private journal, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." In other words, if someone insults you, it's not the words that wound you. It's your decision to take them seriously. Seneca, too, warned against living for the crowd. He wrote, "You live as if you were destined to live forever. Your own frailty never occurs to you. You don't notice how much time has already passed. You squander it as though you had a full and overflowing supply, though all the while that very day which you are devoting to somebody or something may be your last." When you care too much about other people's approval, you're not just wasting time, you're wasting life. The Stoics remind us, opinions are cheap, fleeting, and beyond your control. But your response, that is entirely within your power. When we hear, "stop giving a fuck," many people think it means becoming reckless. They picture someone who ignores responsibilities, who treats others poorly, who shuts out the world. But that's not Stoicism. The Stoics were not apathetic. They cared deeply, but only about the right things. Marcus Aurelius cared about justice, wisdom, courage, and discipline. Seneca cared about living with virtue, not about whether the crowd cheered or booed. Epictetus cared about self-mastery, not whether people thought he was impressive. So, what does not caring really mean in Stoicism? It means refusing to hand over your peace of mind to things you cannot control. It means recognizing the difference between what is essential and what is noise. You don't stop caring about life. You stop caring about illusions. You stop caring about gossip, about empty praise, about the endless opinions of strangers. And by doing that, you make space to care more about your character, your choices, your growth, your service to others. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That is what Stoic not caring looks like. It's not laziness, it's not coldness, it's discipline, it's clarity, it's freedom. Knowing the philosophy is one thing, living it is another. The Stoics gave us practices to train the mind, habits that help us stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. 1. Journal your indifference. Every morning or night, write down the things that stole your peace. Then ask yourself, were these in my control? Most of the time, the answer will be no. This daily reminder trains your mind to let go of the unnecessary. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." Journaling makes this distinction clear. 2. Pause before you react. The Stoics practiced the art of delay. When you feel triggered, before you speak, before you post, before you lash out, pause. Take 3 breaths. Ask, does this deserve my energy? Does this align with my character? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. That pause gives you back your power. Practice negative visualization. Imagine losing the things you cling to, your reputation, your status, your possessions. Not to make yourself miserable, but to realize how little you actually need to live well. When you see how fragile these externals are, you stop clinging to them so tightly. And when you stop clinging, you stop fearing what people think about them. 4. Anchor yourself to virtue. Not opinion. Every day, remind yourself the only thing that matters is living with wisdom, courage, justice, and discipline. Not approval, not applause, not likes or shares. If you acted with virtue, then you've already succeeded, whether the world notices or not. Seneca said, "I judge you unfortunate because you have never lived through misfortune. You have passed through life without an opponent. No one can ever know what you are capable of, not even you. Don't measure your worth by how people treat you. Measure it by how you respond." When you practice these habits, journaling indifference, pausing before reacting, visualizing loss, and anchoring to virtue, you slowly train your mind to stop giving a fuck about the noise and to give everything to what truly matters. Philosophy isn't just theory. The Stoics lived this out in the real world, often under pressure far greater than anything we face today. Marcus Aurelius, criticized by everyone, imagine being Marcus Aurelius. You're the Emperor of Rome. Every decision you make about war, taxes, justice, or law affects millions. And no matter what you decide, someone hates you for it. Did Marcus waste his time trying to please everyone? Number, he wrote in his journal, not for the crowd, but for himself. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Even at the height of power, he reminded himself not to live for approval. Epictetus, born a slave. Epictetus had every reason to crave status. He was born into slavery, owned by another man, treated as less than human. But instead of fighting for reputation, he focused only on what he could control: his thoughts, his words, his character. He taught his students, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Epictetus didn't care if others mocked him. His freedom was internal. Seneca, accused and attacked, Seneca was constantly accused of hypocrisy. Critics said, you preach simplicity, but you live in wealth. You speak of philosophy, but you serve the emperor. What did Seneca do? He admitted his flaws openly. He said philosophy wasn't about pretending to be perfect. It was about striving to be better. He cared more about improving than about silencing critics. Modern parallels. Think about your own life. Maybe you hesitate to post online because you're afraid of what people will say. Maybe you stay quiet in meetings because you fear being judged. Maybe you hold back your true self because you worry about gossip. The Stoic response? Ask, will this person's opinion matter a year from now? Will it matter on my deathbed? Almost always the answer is no. When you shift your focus from approval to virtue, you unlock real freedom, the kind Marcus, Epictetus, and Seneca lived by. What happens when you finally stop caring about the things that don't matter? You gain something far greater than approval. Freedom. Freedom from overthinking. Freedom from the weight of gossip. Freedom from the endless chase for validation. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you no longer give your energy to every opinion, you begin to see how light life can be. Suddenly, you have space. Space to focus on your goals. Space to build your discipline. Space to care deeply about the few things that actually matter. Your family, your craft, your virtue. Seneca described this state beautifully. He said, he who is brave is free. And bravery, in Stoicism, often means resisting the pull of the crowd. It means daring to stand alone with your own values, even when the world doesn't understand. The freedom of indifference is not about living without passion. It's about living with clarity. It's about choosing where to invest your care instead of scattering it across every meaningless judgment. And here's the paradox. The less you chase approval, the more respect you earn. People trust those who are grounded, who are not swayed by every opinion, who stand firm in themselves. This is the Stoic gift. When you stop giving a fuck about the noise, you gain the freedom to give your all to what truly matters. So, here's the truth. Most of what you worry about doesn't matter. Most of the people whose opinions you fear won't even remember your name in a few years, and most of the energy you spend chasing approval is energy stolen from your real purpose. The Stoics knew this. That's why Epictetus could say, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's why Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. And that's why Seneca wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The moment you stop giving a fekaka about the noise, you step into a higher kind of freedom. The freedom to live with virtue, clarity, and strength. So from today, let go of what you cannot control. Stop caring about shallow approval and give yourself completely to the only things that matter: wisdom, courage, justice, and discipline. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Stoicism Mastermind. Because this journey isn't just about watching another video. It's about rewiring your mind, reshaping your character, and reclaiming your freedom. Remember, your life is too short to waste on meaningless opinions. True power begins the moment you stop giving a fuck